Hello, everybody. It's John Corelli, your average guy with his average guy opinion. I don't know if I'm going to do this a lot lately or not, but like I said, I when I went back to my channel, I found out I had taken pretty much a year off. Up until yesterday, when I talked about love. Before that, my last thing I talked about was Andy Fletcher of Depeche Mode dying. So it's been a full year, and up until yesterday, that I took off doing these videos. I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know where I'm going to go with this, but I do think it helps me creatively. It helps me mentally. And there's always things to talk about. There's always something to talk about. We've proven that, right? We will find stuff to talk about. Even if we didn't have these phones that opened us up into the entire world of opinion, we would definitely, we would, we would definitely find shit to talk about. We always do. That's our gift and our curse as a species, I guess. But yeah, one thing I want to talk about was because I haven't really talked about comedy in a full year, at least in this format on this channel, um, on this platform, as the millennials and the Zers call it. I've really taken a step forward in my comedy. I'm going to call it career. I don't think it's ever really going to be a career because careers kind of intimate that you get paid. And I've been getting paid, but not, I mean, making a living. I don't know if I'll ever do that solely on comedy, but I'm in a pretty good place with it right now. I made a big, last year, in September. Um, my friend David Testrode, who is he's also a part-time comedian, but he makes good money at it. He's been doing it 30 years. I mean, he's been in entertainment of some form for since the 80s when he was a kid. He was in the movie Fist. I don't know if you remember. That's a union movie with Sylvester Stallone in it. I think he was an extra, but he had a little part in it, and probably got his taste for doing comedy and entertaining people then. But he let me open for him. He headlined. He did a full hour. Then here's the thing: a lot of people don't know about comedy. Is sorry, man, it's kind of itchy out here. I might be suffering from allergies a little bit, but as you can see, I'm in the backyard. It's a beautiful day out. It's perfect out here. It's like 76 degrees. I think it's perfect. I wish it could be like this all the time, but um, sorry, I got off track a little bit. But a lot of people don't understand. They think that comedy is open mics at bars. They think that it's at comedy clubs like Comedy Works here in Denver, the Improv here in Denver, or they think it's at really big places. Like last year, I got to see Chris Rock um, just crush for 90 minutes down at the Belco Theater, down at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts downtown. I'm going to go see Eddie Izzard the day before Halloween down at the Paramount, which seats a few thousand people. So there's some incredible venues, and people I think that's generally it. But there's a lot of small town venues that want, and I would dare say need comedy. When you're in a small town, you still have all the access to the phone and all the world outside, but you also don't have access to certain things. You can't go to probably a museum or see, you might not even have an Indian food place in your town if you're in a really small town. So I've been kind of getting into that, and that was opened up to me thanks to David. I helped him out, like, I want to say about 4 years ago. He'd taken a long hiatus from comedy, and I was running my room down at the Mercury Cafe in downtown Denver. And he said, "Hey man, if you can put me, I know you don't know me, but here are my credits, and if you could give me some headline spots, I'd like to start warming up and getting back into comedy again." I gave him a few, and last year he repaid me. He's repaid me a couple times by giving me a shot. I did okay in Cheyenne last year in September. Did about 20-25 minutes. I was slated for 30, but usually if you fall short, the guy behind you is such a pro that he can either make it up, or generally people are fine with getting an 80-minute show. If they were expecting 90, they're going to be fine with it. So yeah, I did okay back then. And then in December, I got to do another gig with another pro named Alan Goodwin. Great guy. They're both great guys. That's a big thing. Another thing people don't know about comedy: road comedy is integral. It's most comics that have done probably years of road comedy, just and then getting better to be enough to be a national headliner at small clubs, and then getting to be the household names that you know today. Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, all those guys have been doing it for years and years and years. And then there are the guys that have been doing it for years and years too, but just never got quite to the status of those guys. But like Alan and David are two guys that are like that. They've been making a good chunk of their money, maybe not a living, but a great supplemental income at comedy. And I've gotten to join them on these journeys. I went up to Rexburg, Idaho back in December, and did a respectable 30 minutes, and I had to do it clean, because here's the thing about Rexburg, Ohio. It's 97% Mormon. And I knew there were Mormons in Utah, of course, and I knew there were Mormons in northern Arizona, and I knew there were some here in Colorado. But I had no idea there was a huge Mormon population in southern Idaho. And the BYU, Brigham Young University, Idaho, is in Rexburg. Like I said, 97% of the town is Mormon, Latter-day Saints. It is a dry county, so there is no alcohol to help people to laugh. And it is also the reddest voting town of, I think, of 30,000 or more in the entire nation. Every election, it doesn't matter whether it was Reagan or whether it was Bush or whether it was Clinton, they always, 70% of that county or that town votes Republican every time. So it's an interesting little place, and frankly I was a little nervous, and I got there and I had to be clean. They said it was a 16 and up show, and I was like, okay, I think I can do some weed jokes, and I started off with the weed joke and they liked it, and I did other jokes that were a little edgy, but generally they liked me. I did all right, and Alan was happy with my performance, and he and I did a half an hour, he did an hour. I got paid $300 for it, and that's another thing. The headliner will drive. If you offer gas money, because it's just to be a good dude, but oftentimes these guys don't take gas money. They want to see you succeed, and if you're a good traveling partner, that's a big help. The two rules of comedies have always been: be funny and be nice. You can probably get away without the second one, but it's good to be the second one because it can be helpful. So that was a lot of fun. It was a little disconcerting because I was told 16 up right in the front row. There were like 2 8-year-olds and 2 13-year-olds, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I got kids right in the front row. But like I said, I had fun. It's a great experience. And then Alan, I always love telling this story. This is pretty funny because he ran this joke by me, and I was like, it could work, it could not. I think it's funny, but I don't know if it's going to work for that crowd. So he starts off his set going, hey, where are my sisters at? A bunch of women go, woo. Where are my wives at? Woo. Where are my sister wives at? Fucking dead silent, and I am howling in the green room. I don't know if he could hear me because the green room was right behind the stage, and I am just laughing my ass off, because if there's anything that's funnier than watching your friends succeed, it's also watching your friends fail. So on that joke, he failed, but Alan's such a pro, he was fine. He recovered. He had a great set, but that was very entertaining. And since then, I've done a few other gigs. I've done mostly here in Colorado. I've done Alamosa and Walsenburg, towns that nobody outside of Colorado has heard of. I think I've done Grand Junction. So I've done some cool little gigs and gotten to know these two guys, and I really appreciate what they've done for me. There are mosquitoes out here, but I do appreciate these guys are giving me a shot. And that's another thing about comedy I'm learning, is you really got to bring it every time. You are often only as good as your last set, and if you kind of stink it up, they might not want you back. And and I'm part of a comedy company now. That's helpful. So that's Jason Douglas Productions, and he lets us know, hey, there's going to be these gigs opening up in Colorado, maybe western Nebraska, southern Wyoming, like Cheyenne. And even in October, David and I are going down to Ruidoso, New Mexico, work at a hotel there, and that should be fun. Looking forward to that. But it is an interesting little world I've become a part of, and I know I've talked to you back in 2021 when I started doing these Average Guy Opinions. I'm quite sure I talked quite a bit about comedy, but now I'm at another level, and I'm learning a lot about the business end of it, and just still having fun with it. I don't have high expectations. I don't expect to be doing Carnegie Hall in a couple of years, but I am having a good time with it, trying to make people laugh and having a great, just having fun, because that's what it's really all about. That's mostly what I want to tell you guys. I will be, if anyone's watching in the Denver area, if you see this video tonight or tomorrow, I will be at Odie's on Thursday night, which is the 20th. The show starts at um, 9:30, or excuse me, 8:30. So it's kind of a late-ish start, but the show should be done by 10. It's a bar. It's called Odie's, ODDE''S, with three other funny guys, and would love to see you there. I also got a show on South Broadway on August 9th. And if you want to check out my website, it's called johncarelli.com, JONCARELLI, comedy.com. And it also supports my kid, Logan, who has made some merchandise to sell and takes care of the website. Okay, went a little over 10 minutes, but just want to give you guys an update on how comedy's been treating me the past year, and it's been treating me pretty good. All right, talk to you guys next time. Bye.